Hello, gang. Welcome to episode number 40 of Relab Life. This is the last episode of season number 2. So season number 2 was episode 20 to 40. So season 1 in our terms was episode 1 to 20 is season 1. Episode 21 to 40 is season 2. What we're going to do after this is pretty much take a short break similar to last time. But in this episode, I'd like to talk to you about how important is it for you as a design business operator to have your own business coach or business mentor. Now, there's a lot of that happening at the moment. I just realized it as well, that there's a lot of people, there's many people offering this type of service. Like, do you need to pay for that or not? Or do you go and find it yourself? Or like, do you just develop relationships? And so in my point of view, I think it's best for you to nurture a relationship instead, because it will be a much more valuable business relationship, mentor-mentee relationship, than having to hire someone as your business coach, from my point of view. And so I'd like to share with you my experience and thoughts around this in my own perspective, in my own experience. Hopefully that's useful, and I'll see you around. Hello guys, welcome to the very last episode of season number 2. Not the last of Relab Life. But what we're going to do after this is similar to last time. We're going to go and take a little bit of a break for probably a month or two while we refine the content for the show, and also, I guess, review the things that we could improve on. And we've got a number of feedback in terms of how we could improve things. There are obviously things that I wanted to do between episode 20 and 40, but I haven't got to do yet, just because of, these are things like I wanted to talk to some experts and bringing them into the show, but doesn't happen as easy as I thought it would be, because some people are camera shy as well at the same time. So there's a bit of an adaptation process that we need to go through. But those are things that I still look forward in doing, because then I believe it'll provide so much benefits and value for the things that for you guys watching this vlog. But we'll get there. So in the meantime, while we go and take a break, there are a number of things that I would like to share with you, and I think these are really good content for you designers and design business owners to follow. It's in the subject of whether you as a design business owner need a business coach or a business mentor in running your design business. So I'll have a few links to share with you, some of the things that I follow myself. As a matter of fact, The Future, if you know that YouTube channel run by Chris Do in the US, it's one of the aspirations that I've got. And as a matter of fact, he's inspired me to start Relab Life itself. So this whole thing is pretty much inspired by that channel. And so I'll share with you a couple of things from there. So from my point of view itself, in terms of having a business mentor or a business coach for you as a design business, I think it is important. Looking back at my own story, that was one of the things that I wanted to do from the very beginning of Relab. When I was starting it, I actually tried to browse and look around for business mentors, just so this person could help me shape my business plan and the strategy moving forward. I didn't particularly get anyone, or no one was interested in me, I think. But at the same time, there was one person, her name is Marian Lau. What she did was she replied to me and gave me a really quick, meeting that ran for about half an hour to an hour, just for her to give me a quick, summary on what's needed to start your own business, like very, very basic stuff. And she's given me a number of files and brochures and flyers and things like that for me to be able to jump online and research myself, basically. But they were like very simple things. As a matter of fact, those are things that I could have searched myself anyway if I had the initiative, I think. But that was useful, but not so much from a business point of view. It kind of just became a checklist for me to get myself started. In this day and age, I feel like those are information that you could easily find anyway. So over time, I never really had a business mentor. In terms of design mentor, and I guess other senior designers that I look up to just throughout my career, obviously I've had a number of those. But that's more to the creative side of things of the business operation, which is designing and creating work, and how to find inspiration and how to grow yourself as a creative professional. But in terms of business, this is something that I've only realized recently, and I've realized I've never really had a mentor. Maybe it's just because of my background and my connection around, but over time, the people who ended up being a mentor to me are people who's just been around me in my day-to-day life. For example, my clients or suppliers, or just family, as a matter of fact. And they're not necessarily creative people, and they're not necessarily designers, but what I've learned from them is pretty much how to operate your business and the practicality of it, and the commercial side of things, and how to grow, how to scale, and things like that. And initially, the relationship didn't really start as a mentor-mentee relationship. It initially started just as a normal working relationship, whether I'm as a supplier and then he or she as the client. And then over time, the relationship grew and it became more and more personal, that the person may realize that, you know what, it's going to be interesting if I go and teach Alvin a couple of business tricks. And so that's what ended up happening. So my takeaway from it is really you just need to become a really good person around the people who's worked with you, and try and recognize those who are really talented in their operations, and try to build a relationship with them, because when it gets to a much better relationship in terms of like personal relationship level, then it's a whole different game when you talk about business with them, as long as you have genuine interest in it, because I think they will know whether you have a genuine interest in business or not. If they do think that you really want to grow and you just don't know how and not sure how to figure it out, I'm sure they'll be able to give you a couple of tips and tricks. In the meantime, one of the best things to get started on this, or to learn just by yourself, is pretty much going through YouTube, or just Googling it, like read more things, right, about running a business. But there's a really good channel that I mentioned earlier, which is called The Future, and that's The Future without an E at the end. And it's run by this guy called Chris Do. He's a great design business person. Which means he's a design operator, and he has his own design business, and now focusing on the education of running a design business. So he's inspired me to do stuff like this. Have a look at his channel, The Future, and I'll leave some links in the description. But where I really specifically wanted to point you to is this playlist that he's created for his own business coach, which is called I can't remember what the playlist is called, but it's from this guy called Keir McLaren. If I've mentioned his name correctly, I think it's Keir McLaren, and it's pretty much a playlist of 8 or 10 videos. I can't remember on top of my head, but this is where Keir talks about, I guess, just the basic principles of running your own business as a designer, specifically targeted to designers. So I think it will be a very good type of content for you to follow and catch up. And it's just a really quick series of a couple of minutes. I think it's 4 to 5 minutes per video. So it's very easy and very fast to consume, but I think it will be very helpful for you as a designer. Other than The Future, there's another design creative specific video blog by, I can't remember what his name is, but the channel is called Flux, Flux. And I'll also share a link to this channel in this description below. But otherwise, I think while you're waiting for us to come up with more content and while we figure things out, I think it's really good for you to follow these other channels and for you to be able to follow the content that they produce almost every single day. So that's actually really, really amazing, because I know how difficult it is to keep ourselves into a commitment on top of the rest of the other things that we're doing just on a day-to-day basis. Even delivering one content a week for us can be challenging sometimes depending on the situations in the office. But otherwise, I'm so happy and so proud with the team around me that we're able to do this until episode 40 so far and going on and beyond. And thanks so much for tuning in. For those of you who have tuned in all this while, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. It will mean so much to us. And if you haven't shared this around to your friends or family who would potentially like this type of content, please do so too, and I'll really appreciate it too. Otherwise, while we go on a break, enjoy your life and day-to-day activities. It's very important for you to be able to enjoy it. Otherwise, there's no meaning to it, right? All right, well, I'll leave it there and I'll see you around. Thank you.